Hey, what's up everybody? This is Chicken Possible with Rewards Hunter, back with part 7 of our Contrast series, where we work through grabbing all of the achievements in this game for a bunch of extra Microsoft Rewards points. So this is part 7, parts 1 through 6 will be linked in the description if you haven't watched any of those, and that way you can get caught up and grab all the achievements that we've grabbed previously in this game. But let's start by taking a look in the Microsoft Rewards app. One of the things you'll be able to do today is grab the 50 points for Achieve More, Earn More. Since we're going to be grabbing 3 achievements, you'll be able to use that for that punch card. Also, if we take a look at the weekly rewards set, we want to first click to check out the featured game for this week, which is WWE 2K22. And after you finish taking a look at that, you can just press B to get back to the rewards app. The second part of this is to earn the 3 achievements. We're going to be doing that in Contrast. And I will mention before we get started that it only gave me credit for 2 out of the 3 achievements here, so there may be something a little glitchy going on with the app today. You might want to wait until tomorrow or a day or two to actually get these 3 achievements. The third part of this will be to run some searches on Bing, so you have to do that on 3 separate days to get credit for that task. But let's go ahead and get started in Contrast when you're ready, and we're going to grab the next 3 achievements. We've got 6 achievements left in the game at this point. And we do have to do just a little bit of repeated work here at the very beginning of the Tortuga ride, because the game doesn't actually have a checkpoint saved during that part where we went through and got towards the octopus. So we're going to have to repeat just a little bit of the beginning of this Tortuga's Revenge ride in order to get back to where we were, where we got our last achievement. But you'll probably remember this, it'll all be familiar, so it won't be too difficult to repeat. And we're going to re-grab 2 of the luminaries that we got last time. So the first thing we'll do, like we did last time, just press X to grab this box, walk back up the ramp, use the right trigger to shift into shadow mode. We'll press X to drop the box here close to the edge, jump on top of it, and then shift out, and then press A to pull yourself up, and press X to interact with the switch. Now we actually need this box, so I'm just going to hop back down and press X to pick it back up again. And we're going to walk up the ramp carrying the box. And Dee Dee will be talking during this, so you can just let her talk about what she needs to. And then we're going to go over to the right here and drop this box onto this gear mechanism.
It's closed. Can you open it?
Now we'll collect the second box and go back into the control room back here. And this one is covered by glass, so we'll need to shift into shadow mode, walk through the glass, and then shift back out. We can drop our box on this second gear mechanism. We're going to interact with the ship's wheel like we did last time. Pull it down all of the way until it just won't move anymore. And then we'll press X to get out of that. And we'll go back through the glass like we did. So now we need to ride up on the ship's wheel shadow and get up to this upper left ledge up here. And there's a box here that we need, but first we're going to grab this luminary. And I like to do a jump and then press B to dash across to there. And then so that you don't have to ride back up again, you can jump onto this little ledge and then jump dash back across there. So make sure you pick up this box, and you probably want to shift into shadow mode. I forgot to do that there, but there is a workaround if you accidentally fall down with the box. So you'll want to basically go back to the ship's wheel shadow where you first got onto it, and you can just kind of ride it all the way around. So we'll shift out of shadow mode there and drop the box onto the third gear mechanism. That's the final one. There's a little cutscene here that you can't skip with Dee Dee, but we've got our second luminary that we need to collect that we got last time, and we'll be almost back to where we were. So that should be number 11 out of 15 for this Act 2 level. We'll press X to interact with the boat, and we'll move back to the octopus section of the ride. So this is basically where we left off in part 6, and this will probably look familiar to you again. And you'll remember that we got our third achievement last time by jumping into that treasure chest over there. So here we go. So we're going to jump over to the right side and walk up this ramp. Hop up here and press X, and this is going to shoot the first cannon shot at the octopus. And it sort of fails, so we need to go collect the ball and try again. So what we are going to do is let's turn around, and we're going to hop down here and sort of go over to the right side. There's a set of boxes over here that has a picture of an octopus on it. So head over towards that, and there's a luminary that's up here on a boat, but we can't jump up to it. So what we want to do is shift into shadow mode right by the octopus here, and then jump off of this shadow over to the left side of the screen. And there's a ball here, that's the cannonball that we need, but let's get this luminary first. This is a little bit tricky trying to jump into this boat, but once you have got that, that's number 12, then you can hop back over to where the octopus is on the wall, and we'll just do that same ride of the shadow back up to the top. So now we're ready to collect the cannonball, so we'll press X to grab that. And we need to move it over to the right side here. First we need to shove this door over though, so move close to the door, press X, and she'll just kind of basically break the door and bust it out of the way. So we'll drop down with our cannonball, and we're going to carry it up into the position where the claw can grab it. This is kind of interesting though. You can't actually put it where the claw needs to grab it right here. So what you need to do is back up and shift into shadow mode and then drop it in the spot where the claw grabs. And it's actually going to grab the shadow version of the cannonball. So press X again to start the machine. You'll see the claw grab the shadow version of the cannonball. Pretty interesting how that works out.
Yeah, take that.
So that goes ahead and takes care of the octopus tentacle that's in the way in this area. So now we can hop down and join in with Dee Dee in the cart and move on to the next section of the ride.
Oh no! Wait, it's a whirlpool! He's sucking us down!
And I'm going to be skipping most of the cutscenes in this, so remember, just press Y to skip any of those that you want to skip. All right, so now we need to deliver the final blow, and the first thing we want to do is just jump down to the bottom of this section. There's a cannonball down here that we need to grab, so we'll press X to collect that and pick it up. And we're going to walk around here, and we're going to do a couple laps of this room, basically. Keep going kind of up and to the left, up these different ramps. There's a button to interact with right there. For right now, we're going to shift into shadow mode here and walk across this shadow. When you get to this section right here, just kind of drop the ball right there. That part will lift up in a second. So we'll shift out of shadow mode and interact with that gear mechanism back here. Now you just want to move that up to where it gets to that little platform on the left side of your screen by the cloud. Don't push it all the way up or the ball will fall off. But once you've got it up to that position, you can shift into shadow mode, go grab it, and then shift out and continue walking along. Now this part was a little glitchy for me. It did not want to actually go into the cannon, so I kept interacting with it and it was kind of falling all over the place, but it did eventually go in. So hopefully you won't have too much trouble with that. So here's the final cannon blast, and that takes care of the octopus on the Tortuga ride. All right, so we need to open the door. We'll just grab this one last luminary here. So that's 13 out of 15. And we'll grab the next two in the next section. But for now, we can just go ahead and hop down and go out through this doorway here. So you'll need to put 3 of your luminaries in there to open up that door, and then we can follow Dee Dee through.
I bet it's just something he forgot to turn on. Figures Daddy bought
So we've got our last 2 luminaries coming up in just a minute for this level, and we're almost finished with this level altogether. We're going to get 2 achievements for finishing Act 2. So you can see down below this stairwell, there is a luminary down here. You can just kind of fall down into this area, and you should be able to find it here. That's number 14.
Hey, this is that maintenance room I was
And now we'll hop on top of these boxes. There are 2 sets of boxes here. It's fairly dark, but you can get through here and back out to the base of the stairwell. We'll take a left here and continue following Dee Dee into these little workrooms back here. Make sure you grab your last luminary there. That's number 15. And then we've got one more collectible that is coming up on the left side of the room here, and that will be the last collectible for Act 2. So press X to interact with that, and you can take a look at the ship maintenance book. And then at this point, you should get your achievement for all of the collectibles in Act 2. So there's the Groundskeeper achievement. And I apologize, I accidentally lost my footage right here, but basically you just need to interact with that last switch in the room at the same time that Dee Dee tells you to, and that will finish up that section. So sorry about losing that, it just kind of didn't record properly for me right there. But anyway, after you come out, then you just want to head up to the circus tent that we spent a lot of time in, and you should get your second achievement here once you get to the circus tent that is called Handy Person, for repairing all 3 of the attractions. So you remember we repaired 2 of them last time, and this was our 3rd one today, finishing out the Tortuga. So that's our second achievement. Go inside the tent, and that will completely finish everything in Act 2, and we'll move on to Act 3. We're going to do just the very first sort of workshop section of Act 3, and that will get us our 3rd achievement that we need for today. So just a few more minutes here. And the first part of this is basically just following along with Dee Dee. So I'm just going to be walking along with her and skipping cutscenes where I can, but I will come back and continue talking with you as soon as we finish following her around in this section. But basically just keep up with her and skip the cutscenes here if you can.
Do you think he would ever take me with him? Vincenzo, you know, when he travels all around the world? Now we go this way. Follow me. Excuse me. Come on.
So this is the point where we're going to diverge a little bit from what Dee Dee's doing here. So don't go into that building just yet when she gets there. We want to go over to the right side of the building, and we're going to collect one of our luminaries. There are only 4 on this level, so we're going to get them all very quickly. So grab that first one, head to the left up this stairwell, and take a left, and you should be able to see it way off in the distance by the circus sign there. There's number 2. Turn around and head down this lit stairwell to the left, and then we're going to take another left after we go down the stairs, and you'll see luminary number 3 down this little alley. Turn around again, and the next luminary is up high, and we actually need to ride a moving shadow replay in order to get up there. So the shadow replay is started by this little gun that's out here on the street, and we're just going to hop from the right side off of the shadow over to the left. So this is what my successful run looked like. It did take me a couple of tries, but shift into shadow mode, jump onto Cat's head, shift out, shift back in on this top line, and then you would jump over to the left onto Johnny's head, and then jump and shift out, and then you should be able to use A to pull yourself up. So it might take you a couple tries. Feel free to, pause, rewind, slow down the video if you need to see that a little bit more slowly. But I didn't do any jump dashes. It was all just regular jumps there and kind of shifting in and out of shadow mode. So now we can go ahead and follow Dee Dee into the workshop area. We need to put 2 of our luminaries into this first machine to get everything lit up. And then we want to interact with the main console of the machine. And we can move these planets around. You want to move this one around until the one with the little arm that is on the right side of the screen is kind of touching the shadow. I actually let it go a little bit too early there, and there's a little bit of a gap between the arm and the ground shadow, so you may want to get it a little bit closer than that. But pick up this ball and you should be able to walk straight up onto it if you got that shadow to touch the ground, but I had to kind of shift in and out of shadow mode a couple of times, and then it just boosted me up onto the arm. I was pretty lucky with that. Drop the ball onto the arm and then go back to the control panel. And then we want to continue rotating the machine and just push the ball out of shadow mode. And it'll just drop onto that upper platform area over there. Now bring it around so that the planet with the rings, and the rings are kind of going up and to the right so that you can walk up those onto that platform where the ball is. So it'll look something like this, and then you'll be able to jump onto the rings, onto the planet, and then you'll have to jump dash to get through the vertical rings, and then you can jump dash over to that right side. We'll pick up the ball again and put it into this next part of the machine. And that will start a sort of instrument. It's like a drum kit that's automated by a machine in here, and there's some bells ringing as well. It's a little musical section to the room. And we can hop down here, and we're going to get into the shadows of this. You want to go into this section right here, sort of in between the drums and the bells. This took me a couple of attempts to get through, but you'll want to dash through that metal cage section and then jump off of the bells onto the drum and then onto the cymbals. So the next machine that we need to work with is highlighted over there, so we need to get over to that one. And the first thing we'll want to do in this room is there's actually a collectible back here by this projection machine. You have to jump over a rope barrier there, but grab this collectible for the science picture. Hop back over the rope barrier, and we'll want to press X to interact with this little projection machine. So let's drag this over to the left a little bit, and it's going to get some gears displayed, some gear shadows displayed on the right side wall there. So kind of get it into that position where you can see the gears really well, and then let go with X. And you can probably guess that we're going to jump into this shadow as well. And you'll want to kind of time it to where you walk in, where there is that little gap in the upper gear. Then you can jump over to this next shadow figure with the arms, and then dash across here, and then dash across the next gap. We'll get ourselves out of shadow mode and interact with this machine. And then right here, you'll want to take a right and open up this door. You can basically just kind of open up some of the doors that you've come through already in this section that you might need to go back through potentially. You can't open up this door for some reason, but we'll move on over here to this shadow that looks like sort of a cannon, I guess, pointing towards a guy that is sweeping the floor. So we're going to jump on his back and ride him over to the next section that's high up here, this next platform. Then we've got one more collectible on this right side wall. Make sure you grab that. That is the science picture. And let's go ahead and open up this door. And we're going to open up the second door that's down here on this bottom floor. We'll move on upstairs, and there's one more door to open right here. So now we need to move across into the clock tower section. So let's shift into shadow mode here, and nothing really too tricky about this. You just kind of walk along the path and jump up here and then shift out. And then we're going to go through into the section where you see the gears spinning. And then turn around and look behind you. There is a collectible on the ground right here. So that is the canceled shows newspaper article. Let's move back behind the big gear section and we'll get our cutscene here. And that is basically the end of it. So we have finished the workshop area, so you should get your third and final achievement for today right at this point. So there's the how'd you get in achievements. And as I said, for some reason it did not show 3 achievements for me in the weekly set. You'll see that in just a minute. Hopefully it shows all 3 of them for you, but I did get credit for 2 of them. So I don't know if it's just delayed or what's going on today. I heard a couple of other people have similar issues with achievements not displaying correctly on the weekly set. So like I said, you may want to just wait until tomorrow to get this all done, but I am recording it on June 21st. So there you can see I've got 2 out of 3 finished, and I'll need to come back and do Bing searches on 2 separate days in order to finish this out. But there you go, that's the 100 rewards points and the 50 rewards points for the Achieve More, Earn More. Don't forget to click on that and turn that in. And that's going to do it for Contrast Part 7. So we'll be back most likely in about 2 weeks for the next weekly reward set that comes out, and we'll work on Contrast Part 8, and those will be the last 3 achievements that we'll need to complete the game. So I will look forward to seeing you all in that guide in a couple of weeks. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you found that video helpful, please be sure to click the subscribe button here on YouTube and hit that bell for notifications. You can also find some helpful links in the description of this video if you want to stay connected with us. Stay tuned for more Microsoft rewards and achievement guides, and I'll see you in the next one.